certain saints that are canonized in the Orthodox Church, who are saints because they fought against the Nazis and they were murdered by the Nazis, or they helped Holocaust victims and were murdered as a result. Alexander Schmorell, you have Saint Maria of Paris, Dmitry Klipinin, you have others in Bulgaria, and so on. So, and then I see official statements made by the Russian Orthodox Church, among the others, that are quite explicitly opposed to the Nazi ideology, to the Nazi history, and anything that has anything to do with that. And then you have the aspect of Hitler, um, that he was very explicitly, very clearly against Christianity, according to his closest, most trusted people, according to Goebbels himself. He says the Führer is deeply religious, but he hates Christianity. He sees it as a branch of the Jewish race. He says, which is directly from his diary.
Well,
So
I have the MK over there, the dreaded MK book. I won't get it out, but there's a pretty significant sections where he says that Christianity was always too radical in terms of being against paganism, and he said
yeah.
that what he would have preferred was if Christianity could be a vehicle for Germanic paganism to synthesize with what he considered Christianity. There's other speeches I read too where Hitler talks about the God of the Old Testament being essentially a different God, and that he could never accept that, which is in the Christian theology, that's Marcionism.
Yeah.
So there's no way to have Marcionism in Christianity. So yeah, it also in MK he says that it's his job, his plan is to continue the eugenics and sterilization policies that the Kaiser already had in place. And there's no way that a Christian could adopt those kinds of positions. So yeah, I've always thought those
And
aren't
they
pro-life
started
positions.
rounding people up and putting them in vans and gassing them to death, considering them not worthy of life and all that, which is pretty messed up. You can't possibly make peace with such an idea, with a Christian worldview. That's it really goes beyond anything that is
Well,
acceptable.
that's Malthusianism, and so to agree with the position of Malthus, the Anglican minister who believed that it was necessary to depopulate because he looked at some flies in a jar and he said, well, if the flies are limited with their resources, it's the same with humans. Limited resources requires us to depopulate. So those are famous essays out of England, and he was a hardcore social Darwinist type proponent. Those ideas influenced people not just in the UK but also in Germany, and the Kaiser's policies were already based around eugenics. That's why in America you had a flip side version of that where the Rockefellers set up the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute, and they named it after him because it was all about population control and eugenics. So yeah, the fundamentals there certainly don't work with Christianity, but I also agree that the fundamentals of communism, socialism,
Yeah.
Bolshevism, none of those work with Christianity either.